The night sky over Mumbai was on fire. Sirens echoed across the city. Red lights flashed and smoke covered the horizon. News anchors shouted into their microphones with trembling voices, their headlines burning across every television screen. Empire destroyed, billionaire's company reduced to ashes. In a single night, what had taken decades to build was gone. A fortune, a legacy, a symbol of untouchable wealth all vanished in one terrible blast. The billionaire, once worshipped like a king, stood powerless, staring at the ruins of the life he had built. For the first time in his life, there was nothing left to control. That night, the world celebrated his fall. His kingdom has collapsed. Billions wiped out overnight. He has lost everything. The voices were merciless. The same media that had once praised him now tore him apart. He sat alone in his ruined office, smoke still rising from the wreckage. The silence after the chaos felt louder than the explosion itself. His heart sank with one truth: everything he had ever known, everything he had ever trusted, had turned into zero. And yet the sun rose the next day. The world outside moved on, as if nothing had changed. Vendors boiled tea at their stalls. Buses honked in traffic. Children laughed on their way to school. The city was alive, and in the middle of that life walked the man who had once ruled it all. But he was no longer a billionaire. No luxury car, no bodyguards, no polished shoes. Just an exhausted man in torn clothes, walking among the crowd like he had never existed. People brushed past him without a glance. Nobody stopped, nobody whispered his name. Once, his face had filled magazines and newspapers. Now, he was just another man swallowed by the streets. As he walked, his legs trembled. The ground beneath his feet was unfamiliar. And then, it happened: he slipped. His body fell forward, crashing into the mud of the road. His hands dug into the dirt, his clothes soaked in filth. The man who once walked on marble floors now sat helpless on the ground. The crowd did not care. Some laughed. Some kept moving. Not a single hand reached out to help him. For the first time in his life, he knew what it felt like to be invisible. He looked around, and what he saw changed everything. A rickshaw driver tearing his bread in half to feed his hungry child. A woman balancing baskets on her head, sweat running down her face, yet smiling at a stranger. An old man shouting the day's headlines, his voice rough but filled with spirit. They were poor. They were struggling. And yet they were living. They had something he had lost long ago: a place among the people. Sitting there in the dirt, he finally understood. Life was never about the skyscrapers he built. It was never about the numbers in his bank account or the empires that stretched across cities. Life was here, on the streets. Life was in the sweat of the workers, the laughter of children, the strength of those who had nothing but still carry everything with them. For the first time in decades, he whispered the truth aloud. All my life, I built castles in the air. But real life is on the ground, with the people who walk these streets. The billionaire rose slowly, mud dripping from his clothes, his body aching, his pride shattered. But for the first time, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. He felt human. He was no longer the richest man in the city, no longer untouchable, no longer worshipped. He was just a man who had fallen, but perhaps, through that fall, had finally risen to the truth. Sometimes you have to lose everything to understand what it means to truly have something.